right, y'all. Let's uh, let's talk about it. Ben Coley put up a great question, great post this afternoon, and it's getting a lot of response, including one from me. What does it really mean to you or us to be a restoration rebel? And I appreciate Ben for doing that. Thank you for bringing this up. Obviously, there's some opinions here. Obviously, there's some energy here, and I believe we need to have this discussion. We need to repeat this discussion over and over because it's important. I believe what the Restoration Rebels represent is important. But don't be fooled. Just because you're a member of this page does not mean that you're a Restoration Rebel. Okay? Membership of this page is free. We have a very low bar to membership. You need to be a restorer or associated of some kind, and you need to answer 3 questions. That's it. The only requirement to being on the page is that. The requirement to being a restoration rebel is very, very different. And the reason that is because, at least early on, not so much anymore, but early on, being a restoration rebel meant putting a target on your back. It meant standing up for and believing in and fighting for things you believed in spite of the fact that it's probably not in your best interest short term. It's for the greater good. I've been fired by I'm stuttering a little bit. I've been fired at least 3 times. 3 different companies because of my affiliation with and my voice in this group. Okay? I think that qualifies me as a restoration rebel because I've given up or been forced to give up my livelihood and start over again and go find another way to make a living because of the things I've said and the things I believe in regards to insurance claims in this industry as a whole. You know who else qualifies in my mind as a real restoration rebel? Ben Coley. I'm involved in 2 files with Ben right now. One as a public adjuster, one as an appraiser. And the only reason that I can see that both of these claims went sideways is because Ben has a target on his back. The carriers, State Farm, and what's the other one? I forget the other one. Liberty, Safeco. They saw his company and his name on the file, and it went straight off the rails. They put the brakes on everything, and these claims are way harder because they saw his involvement. I'm not saying they're harder because of him, because in reality, I've gone through his paperwork. I've seen his stuff. I've seen his estimates. He is more than fair. And on the mitigation side, I would challenge anyone in this group to match his level of documentation. So why does Ben have a target on his back? I'll tell you why. Because he does the right thing every time. He doesn't take shit, and he doesn't bend on behalf of the carriers. He takes care of his clients to his own detriment sometimes, and he doesn't give in to this idea that we have to negotiate every little thing on every little claim as long as if the carrier has a problem with it, we need to fix it. Guess what? The founders of this group, the original members of this group, understand on a deep level that it wasn't broke to start out with. Right? We didn't break this thing. Now, I will argue right now that we as an industry stood by as things got broken more and more and more, as TPAs got involved, as we started giving up things like overhead and profit. We stood by as an industry as a whole. I was just coming up. I couldn't say that I was in a leadership position in any way, shape, or form for the restoration industry. But there are folks in leadership positions today who were there. They were there every step of the way. And they lead organizations at every level of this industry and associations, and they're still not doing anything. And we have watched the erosion of the influence and the power of the contractor in the restoration world. We've watched it. And there's people that have been sitting by and letting that happen. This group represents me standing up and saying, not on my watch. All right? That's it. We are going to take our businesses and our industry and our clients back. We're going to treat them well. We're going to treat our clients like they're clients, like they're the customer. And we're going to tell their insurers what to pay because it's the right thing to do. Not because we're trying to retire on every single job, but we're trying to make a living and we're trying to make people whole. That's why we're here in the first place. You don't exist in the restoration industry unless some part of you enjoys making people whole, being of service. So that's what it means to me to be a restoration rebel. That's what I'm going to hold you to. If you're watching this, you're on the Rebel page and you're a member of the page, but are you really a restoration rebel? Do you make the hard decisions? Do you make the decisions that are probably short-term to your detriment, but long-term better for the entire industry? Are you even capable of making that type of decision? I know a lot of people who are. So that's all I have to say about that. We'll see you guys.